On today's show, Ford promises a Mustang and the car that never was. First up, Ford has announced a Mustang badge pure electric crossover that will be sure to excite like a lot of Ford fans. The Mustang Mach-E, a 5-seater mini SUV, has like a maximum driving range of 480 kilometers, a maximum battery capacity of nearly 100 kilowatt hours, and a 0 to 100 time of about 3.5 seconds. Looking at this mini SUV, I do like its long hood, aggressive lines with high wheel arches, and tri-bar tail lamps. The Mustang Mach-E will launch in the US in 2020, but well, it's a no for Australia. Website Car Advice obtained official word from Ford Australia, who confirmed that we have no specific Australian or New Zealand news with regards to the Mach-E. We do, however, look forward to starting our electrification journey with the Escape plug-in hybrid electric vehicle next year. Now, this is a shame and a missed opportunity which I hope Ford reverses, as this thing will do well here. And it fills a segment that is only occupied by a similar looking car, the Hyundai Kona EV. In terms of specs, the Mach-E will be available in 5 trim levels, from the entry-level Select, Premium, through to the most expensive, the GT. Performance and trim changes obviously depend upon what you buy, with the standard Select getting a 75.7 kilowatt-hour battery pack and optional 98.8 kilowatt-hour extended range model. So all variants are built on like a brand new electric platform and feature a liquid-cooled battery and on the underbody. All but the base car will have 150 kilowatt onboard DC fast charging capacity, with the base car getting, look, a respectable 150 kilowatts of peak power input, which, like, that's what the older Teslas used to get, ballpark figure. Coming in 2 different drive configurations, the Mach-E has either a rear-wheel drive setup with 190 to 342 kilowatts of power, and those, like, they're impressive numbers, which, when considered along with its range of either 340 to 480 kilometers of range. Internally, it's a very futuristic affair with Ford's Sync infotainment system adapted to that 15.5-inch vertical screen, which can take over-the-air updates. Oh, and P.S. Ford, will these be free? Maybe? For our lucky American cousins, pricing is very much in line with the Tesla Model 3, with the entry model Select coming in around about $65,000 Australian to as high as $89,000 for the GT. And that's also obviously before our stamp duty, import taxes, lousy car tax, luxury car tax. You get the idea. If you want more information, please do look at the links to this article and everything else I talked to on this episode below. Okay, Aussies, ready for some more bad news? Yep, I'm just a treasure trove of great positive vibes today, aren't I? No, not really. Anyway, here we go. Kia Australia has announced that it's testing of the E-Niro on our local roads, and well, guess what? They decided that they're not going to bring the electric car down under because of our government's failure to introduce legislation to reduce carbon emissions. Wait, what? What? Is this going to be a promises segment? No. And for those new to the channel, promises it was my segment about what our politicians are and aren't doing in the space of renewables and getting us to a cleaner, greener form of transport. And well, this story does fit into that space, but today I'm not going to do a deep dive. No. Instead, I'll highlight some of the learnings that Bridie Schmidt garnered from Kia Australia's Chief Operating Officer, Damien Meredith, that the E-Niro may never actually make it here because, well, Kia wants to bring the E-Niro to countries that have effective regulations that limit CO2 emissions that are already in place.
Very good. You know something? Not so for you!
And as we all know, Australia does not have the mandates, and in fact, well, it seems to be pushing CO2 emissions up year on year, despite what some buffoons are saying. Mr. Meredith said that Kia's policy is that the E-Niro goes to countries that have CO2 regulations and have legislation in place. That's the issue with us in relation to getting the E-Niro. Okay, so does this then mean that Kia has supply issues and, well, maybe can't make enough of them to send them down under? Well, on first glance, no. See, Variety reports that the Kia has been seeing sales of the E-Niro in Europe, whether it's both hybrid as well as plug-in hybrid variants, as many as like 45,000 units have been sold in the first 9 months of 2019. Now, for us Aussies who normally have to wait for like a right-hand drive version, you can actually buy the E-Niro in the UK right now. So I doubt they have supply issues, especially like when car makers like Tesla and, well, VW's recent announcement that they're intending to produce several 100,000 EVs in the 1920 fiscal year. So what needs to be done? Well, this is where you and I need to get busy. I've created a link below with every Australian parliamentarian whose title is to like manage our CO2 emissions and policy and legislation around what our energy mix future looks like. What we all need to do is either call, meet, email, write to them, and, well, let these ministers know that we want CO2 reductions now. And, well, the best way for Australia to curb that, like knowing that we produce more than 20% CO2 emissions from the tailpipe, is to prioritise EVs, demand more stringent petrol standards, and incentivise drivers to electric cars. I mean, look to Europe, where the EU has successfully legislated car makers to meet the 95 grams of CO2 per kilometre by like 2021. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Or else, if they don't, they'll face heavy fines. Meanwhile, we get all the junk that car makers basically can't sell in those markets. That's a fact, and we've just seen that with the E-Niro. So, maybe then Kia and other car makers might change their minds and, well, bring cars like this to our roads. Now, remember to follow the links and, well, get in contact with your local member. And all I ask is that you guys please keep your dialogue or messaging polite and sincere, and that as a voter, you'll be paying attention to their party's stance on this and, well, more. Alright, so that about wraps it for today's episode, but before I do go, I'm going to be giving away to a lucky subscriber some Model 3 performance pedals. Now, these are the ones that just go over the pedals, you know, in the Model 3, and anyone who lives in Australia, you're welcome to have them. But all you need to do is just be a subscriber and put down below in the comments #winner. Next week, I'll be announcing a winner on Monday's show. So if you want to win these little bad suckers, and all you have to do is do that #winner and get these for free, live in Australia, that's all you need to do. So please do subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a like. If you want to support the channel, please support me over there on Patreon, where you get not only like early access content, but also Patreon only stories, as well as a great growing community, discussions, polls, and, well, more. As per usual, thanks to my producers, Ray Johnson, as well as Angelo, who support this episode at the $15 level. So thanks so much to you guys and all my Patreons, and, well, be good, be green.